All right, we are watching A Few Good Men, a legal drama, I believe. I'm excited to check it out. I know Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise are in it. United States Naval Base, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. Something creepy is gonna go down. This music. Is he being kidnapped? This music. Whoa. A Rob Reiner film. I just watched Misery. I think that's Rob Reiner too. Tom Cruise. I've done tons of Tom Cruise on this channel. Jack Nicholson. I've done lots of Jack Nicholson too. I don't think I've done any Demi Moore movies on this channel. Kevin Bacon. Ooh, good cast. Oh. What do they have on their guns on the bottoms of them? Is this like the Marines? Whoa! This would take so much practice. Crazy. By screenplay by Aaron Sorkin based on his play. That's cool. It was a play first. This is a very cool little display.
I'd like to request that it be I who am assigned. I'd like to request that I be the attorney assigned.
Joe, come on in.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you seeing me on such short notice.
Trouble over the weekend down in Cuba?
2 Marines entered the barracks room of a PFC William Santiago. Santiago was known to be a screw-up. I was thinking it sounded an awful lot like a code red.
What's a code red?
Why don't you get yourself a cup of coffee so we can talk about you behind your back?
Straight shooter, I like it.
I thought this code red wasn't going on anymore. What about this, Commander Galloway?
3 cases in 2 years.
Who's she handling, the Rosenberg?
Not gonna let her do it.
You're much too valuable in your present assignment to be wasted. I promise you, division will sign the right man for the job.
You just looked the ball into your glove.
We're supposed to meet in your office 15 minutes ago. I'm going to hang your boy from a yard arm. I'm going to charge him with possession and being under the influence while on duty.
It was $10 worth of oregano.
I got people to answer to just like you do. I'm going to charge him.
If you ask for jail time, I'm going to file a motion to dismiss. And you're going to spend the next 3 months going blind on paperwork. See misdemeanor, 15 days restricted duty.
Sir, I think she's getting ready to say her first word any day now.
Are we gonna talk more about what the actual crime?
Sorry I'm late.
You don't have a good excuse, so I won't force you to come up with a bad one. Been requested by division. A Marine corporal illegally fires a round into Cuban territory. Santiago threatens to rat on Dawson. Dawson go into Santiago's room, and an hour later, Santiago's dead. See Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway. I'm assigning co-counsel. Any volunteers?
That guy from The Usual Suspects and The Whole 9 Yards. He was really funny in that.
In other words, I have no responsibilities here
Just
whatsoever.
watch him.
Right.
I feel like, is there more to this crime that we don't know? I need more information.
Daniel Caffey, I was told to meet with,
He's like very disorganized and scattered.
Lieutenant Commander Galloway.
Yeah.
I have no responsibilities here whatsoever.
She must be pissed. They brought this guy in. They don't want her to do it. They want this guy.
How long have you been in the Navy?
Going on 9 months now.
Successfully plea bargained 44 cases in 9 months.
Ever been in a courtroom?
This thing goes to court, they won't need a lawyer, they'll need a priest.
No, they'll need a lawyer. Downey's closest living relative is Jenny Miller, his aunt on his mother's side. These are the letters that Santiago wrote in his 8 months at Gitmo. No one was listening. Are you with me?
Yeah, is he?
Offered information about fence line shooting in exchange for a transfer. This letter makes it look like your client had a motive to kill Santiago. Colonel Jessup.
12 years.
You haven't talked to a witness or looked at a piece of paper.
He's that good.
Do you have some sort of jurisdiction here that I should know about?
My jurisdiction's pretty much in your face.
Her jurisdiction.
He's a little preoccupied.
He's something.
The Marines in Guantanamo are fanatical.
Yeah, I
About
bet.
what?
About being Marines.
Yeah, he can't be insubordinate down there.
I've fallen out on runs before, for several reasons, such as feeling dizzy. Then I saw all black, and the last thing I remember is hitting the deck. Please, sir, I just need to be transferred out of RSC. I'm willing to provide you with information about
illegal fence line shooting. Private Santiago is a member of 2nd Platoon Bravo, sir. Written letters to everybody but Santa Claus asking for a transfer. He can't run without collapsing from heat exhaustion.
Yeah, I'm surprised he made it as a Marine.
I can handle this situation, sir.
Santiago should be transferred off the base immediately.
I'm sure that's the thing to do. Let's transfer the whole squad off the base.
Let's all go home.
We're surrendering our position in Cuba.
Yes, sir.
Maybe we have a responsibility to train Santiago. Santiago stays where he is.
I think that's a mistake, Colonel.
So he just thinks he just needs to be trained up more. He's just a wuss.
We're in the business of saving lives, Matthew. Shipping him off to another assignment puts lives in danger.
Well, what if he can't cut it? Doesn't that put lives in danger?
We went to the academy together, but I've been promoted up through the chain with greater speed. If that's a source of embarrassment, I don't give it.
Now he's gonna do whatever he says. Ooh, I like this keyboard. What is that? Just a synth?
Is this Washington, D.C.?
All right, let's move.
Not all of that one.
Excuse me.
He's got his priorities straight.
I need to practice.
That wasn't funny.
It's a little funny.
He's cheeky. I mean, I'm amused by it, but she must be just pissed.
Father's Lionel, Kathy, former Navy judge advocate. You went to Harvard Law, then you joined the Navy.
Wow.
Laying low so you can get out and get a real job. This case is handled in the fast food, Persian bazaar manner. Something's gonna get missed.
I'm sexually aroused, Commander.
I don't think your client's murdered anyone.
Really?
The doctor's report strongly suggests poisoning.
Santiago died at 1 a.m. 2 hours later, he said it was poison.
What is she saying? Who does she think did it?
I think I can handle things myself.
You know what a code red is?
Does he?
What a pity.
What is it? Sounds bad.
Sir, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson, sir. Rifle Security Company, Windward.
I'm Daniel Caffey. This is Sam Weinberg. Sit down. What's code red?
Sir, a code red is a disciplinary engagement. Marine refuses to bathe on a regular basis. The minute his squad would give him a GI shower.
Was the attack on Santiago a code red?
Yes, sir.
Rag you stuffed in Santiago's mouth. Was there poison on it?
No, sir.
We pulled the tape off and there was blood all down his face.
Were you there when the ambulance got there?
Yes, sir. That's when we were taken under arrest.
Santiago's letter said you fired illegally. If Santiago didn't have anything on you, then why did you give him a code red?
If he had a problem, he should have spoken to me, sir.
What was your intent?
Yeah, what
to
was...
train him, sir. To respect the code. Unit, corps, God, country.
So they didn't mean to kill him. He ended up poisoned later.
The government of the United States wants to charge you two with murder.
That's our code, sir.
They're not really speaking in their own defense very much. They're not really denying anything.
I'm the only friend you've got.
Yeah. I feel like we're not getting all the information here.
Let's hope for Dawson and Downey's sake you practice law better than you play softball. The conduct unbecoming, 20 years, they're home in half that time.
I want 12.
They killed a Marine.
What do you know about code reds?
Oh, man.
Nobody wants to talk about code reds.
I'm gonna give you the 12 years. Jonathan Kendrick told them not to touch Santiago.
I'll talk to you when I get back. Commander,
Listen,
what...
I came to make peace. I brought Downey some comic books he was asking for.
If you ever speak to a client of mine again without my permission, I'll have you disbarred.
I'm going to Cuba with you tomorrow.
I need to see him litigating, because he might just blow us all away. Well, they said he's done 44 cases in 9 months.
Let's go, Luther. You don't!
Another day, another dollar, Captain.
See you tomorrow, Luther.
Not if I see you first.
If you guys like watching movies with me over here, I would love if you could subscribe right down there. I do 3 new movies every single week.
Made a sound, Sam. I'm not sure it was a word.
Come on now, it was definitely a word.
Look at these beautiful leaves.
Said, Pa. She was pointing at a mailbox, Sam. Jack Ross came to see me today. He offered me the 12 years. You don't believe their story, do you?
I believe every word of their story.
Don't forget to wear the whites. Very hot down there.
Jonathan Kendrick specifically told him not to touch Santiago.
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is.
To follow that lead. Something's fishy here. To Cuba we go. It's kind of weird to me that they're sending him to Cuba. Just to talk to witnesses and stuff.
Yeah, I got some camouflage jacket. Cuban seen officer wearing white. I think it might be someone they want to take a shot at.
Good call on the whites, man.
We'll just hop on the ferry. We'll be there in no time.
Nobody said anything about a boat.
You're in the Navy for crying out loud.
Nobody likes her very much. This is Lieutenant Commander Joanne Galloway.
I had the pleasure of meeting your father once. I was a teenager.
How the hell is your dad, Danny?
He passed away 7 years ago, sir.
Well, what can we do for you, Danny?
This is really a formality more than anything else.
There really is no questions.
We can all hook up for lunch. How does that sound?
Fine, sir.
Thank you.
Good.
I told the men Santiago was not to be harmed in any way.
What the heck happened to this guy? They put the stuff in his mouth, they taped him, and then he started bleeding, and they took the tape off, and he had blood all over him. That doesn't sound right.
We should make sure somebody gets this to his parents. We don't need it anymore. May I call you John?
No, you may not.
Have I done something to offend you?
No, I like all you Navy boys.
Do you think Santiago was murdered?
He is dead because he had no code.
How do you feel about that theory?
Sounds good.
Are you planning on doing any investigating? Take the guided tour.
I'm pacing myself.
Is he? I'm gonna need a little more from him. Just taking notes up here, I guess.
That was delicious, thank you.
My pleasure, sir. Santiago tipped him off to an illegal fence line shooting.
We agreed that for his own safety, Santiago should be transferred.
Nuh-uh, that's not what happened. I mean, they can look into that,
that's
right?
all I have.
Wait a minute, I've got some questions.
No, you don't.
Yeah, she needs to ask questions.
I was just wondering if you've ever heard the term Code Red. You received a cautionary memo listed men disciplining their own wasn't to be condoned.
The directive having come from the commander, I gave it its due attention.
I think Code Red still go on down here.
If it happens to go on without my knowledge, so be it.
I mean, yeah, what did she really expect? He was just gonna be like, yep.
Transfer, you guys have paperwork on that kind of thing. I just need it for the file.
Stand there in that white uniform and ask me nicely.
If it's not too much trouble, I'd like a copy of the transfer order.
No problem.
He just flexed there for sure. This is all very, it's all in subtext, you know? They're not quite saying, but they are saying things. The colonel there is clearly hiding something, and still don't think we know the whole story, obviously.
Markinson's disappeared. I think Kendrick ordered the Code Red, and so do you.
Did Lieutenant Kendrick
just
order
talk.
you guys to give Santiago a Code Red?
Yes, sir.
It's like, why didn't you tell me that before?
You didn't ask us, sir.
Kendrick says that he gave strict instructions that nothing was to happen to Santiago.
Then he dismissed the platoon and we all went to our rooms. About 16:20, Kendrick ordered us to give Santiago a Code Red.
But like, with the intent to kill? No, right?
That's not what Kendrick said.
Kendrick's lying.
You have proof?
I have the defendant.
Voluntary manslaughter, 2 years or home in 6 months.
No deal, we're going to court.
That is a pretty good deal, though.
Danny knows it in a courtroom. He loses this case.
Government's offering involuntary manslaughter 2 years. Wow, Kathy!
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't want that.
I'm afraid we can't do that, sir. We did our job, and if that has consequences, then I'll accept them.
Did she put you up to this?
That does sound like her.
What I'm telling you, you'll be home in 6 months.
After 6 months, we'll be dishonorably discharged, right, sir?
I mean, yeah, they'll be felons.
You're asking us to sign a piece of paper that says we have no honor. I will not dishonor myself, my unit, or the Corps!
Wow, respect.
I think you'd lose.
You're such a coward.
You're going to Leavenworth for the better part of your life. What happened to saluting an officer when he leaves the room?
Wow.
I want to get him a new lawyer. How do I do
Let's
it?
make a motion tomorrow morning at the arraignment.
Stand up and make an argument. Another lawyer won't be good enough. They need you. You know they have a case.
She thinks he's good.
It only matters what I can prove.
You're a used car salesman, Daniel. You're an ambulance chaser with a rank.
She reverse psychologied him. Doesn't want to be just a shady lawyer. Cares about this case. He wants to do the right thing.
Does defense wish to enter a plea?
They're not guilty.
We'll adjourn until 1000, 3 weeks from today.
To trial we go.
Why does a lieutenant junior grade get assigned a murder case? Would it be so that it never sees the inside of a courtroom? Joe, before you come over tonight, pick up a carton of legal pads. I need you to start on a preliminary medical profile. The only thing I have to eat is Yoo-hoo and Cocoa Puffs, so if you want anything else, bring it with you.
Okay, now he actually wants to try this case. They brought him in because they thought that he would just take the appeal the easy way out. Lazy lawyer.
I'm just wondering now that Joanne's on this, if you still need me.
You're better at research than I am.
Medical reports and Chinese food. I say we eat first.
This is our defense. Intent.
All right, all
no one
three of
can
them are
prove
in.
there was poison on the rag. I don't know what made Santiago die. I just want to be able to show it could have been something other than poison. Any sign of external damage? No. Any sign of violence?
You mean other than the dead body?
You start calling him Willie and all of a sudden he's a person who's got a mother who's going to miss him.
They are good. They're really doing this.
Santiago's dead. These 9 people are going to insist that someone be blamed for that. Something doesn't go our way, don't hang your head, don't shift in your seat. Pass me documents, do it swiftly, and you'll
Don't look over anxious.
They're good. I never really thought about that kind of thing, but I'm sure lawyers do rehearse all that stuff. Well, sure. The good ones.
Danny,
I know what you're going to say. You don't have to. We've had our differences.
I was just going to tell you to wear matching socks tomorrow.
Good tip.
This is an interesting dilemma, though. I mean, they did kill him. They, you know, but they're following an order. Like, they're responsible, but also Kendrick is responsible. But if they really thought they had no choice, I don't know.
They woke him up, tied his arms and legs with tape. Lactic acidosis caused his lungs to begin bleeding. And it's the exact same story you're going to hear from Private Downey. Willie Santiago is dead. Dawson and Downey killed him.
There was no poison on the rag and there was no intent to kill. When Dawson and Downey went into Santiago's room, it's because it was what they were ordered to do. But if you're a Marine and you're given an order, you follow it or you pack your bags. They did their job.
This is tricky. So then it's the responsibility of their job. not really them. Especially in a military because you're ordered to kill people all the time.
Did your office receive a letter from a PFC William Santiago?
A member of Private Santiago's unit had illegally fired his weapon over the fence line.
Who was that?
That's how they found out who it is. Okay.
Why wasn't he charged with firing at the enemy without cause?
Good question.
There wasn't enough evidence.
Were you present at a meeting that Lieutenant Kendrick held?
Yes, sir. Told us we had an informer in our group.
Did it make you mad?
Yes, sir.
Were the other members of the squad angry?
Asking this witness to testify as to how my clients felt?
Yeah, that's not cool.
What was the order?
He said Santiago wasn't to be touched.
How are they going to prove that he had a private meeting though?
5 minutes after.
No, sir.
Government calls Corporal Raymond Thompson. I understand Captain Ross planning on calling all the other members of Rifle Security Company to testify.
Explicit instructions. Platoon leader seems particularly relevant testimony.
The defense is willing to concede. The government is willing to concede. None of them were in Dawson and Downey's room at 1620 on September 6th.
It's probably in their best interest not to have 22 people or whatever sit there. That would just make it seem that much more substantial. That was a good move.
And he meets with Jessup, and at 5 o'clock he says it was poison.
Let's go over what we have, okay?
Santiago was admitted to the ER at 0012. The muscles burn sugar and lactic acid is produced.
What caused this process to be sped up?
An ingested poison.
Did Willie Santiago die of poisoning?
Absolutely.
Is it possible for a person to speed up the process of acidosis?
Coronary disorder or cerebral disorder, there would still be symptoms, though.
Chest pains?
Yes.
The stuff that he was talking about during, yes, that was stopping him from completing all his runs. Yes, yes, yes.
This is an order for Private Santiago to be put on restricted duty.
Patient complains of chest pains, shortness of breath, and fatigue.
Checkmate.
Commander, isn't it possible that Santiago had a serious coronary condition?
Private Santiago was given a clean bill of health.
And that man died from a heart-related incident. You'd have a lot to answer for.
Correct.
Object. Move to strike.
Sustained.
Doesn't matter, they heard it.
In your professional opinion, was Willie Santiago poisoned?
We renew our objection to Commander Stone's testimony and ask that it be stricken from the record. We further ask the court to instruct to lend no weight to this witness's testimony.
The objection's overruled, counsel.
The defense strenuously objects.
The witness is an expert and the court will hear his opinion.
Was Willie Santiago poisoned?
Yes.
Got the court members thinking we're afraid of the doctor.
Christ, you even had the judge saying Stone was an expert.
Sam, she made a mistake.
Yeah, actually, the judge even said it, yeah. Lent credibility to him for sure.
They didn't like him, so they killed him because he couldn't run very fast.
Take the night off. Go see your wife.
That's interesting when the defense doesn't like the client, doesn't believe them.
Why do you like them so much?
Because they stand on a wall and they say nothing's going to hurt you tonight.
Don't worry about the doctor. His trial starts Monday.
I am interested to see who they're going to call. Are they going to call the defendants? Probably not a good idea. Although I guess maybe just to give their side of it, they're going to have to. Nobody else was in the room.
How you'd feel about my taking you to dinner tonight?
Sounded like you were asking me on a
Not
date.
a date,
I've been
right?
asked out on dates before.
I know a good seafood place.
A date or just friends? We don't have time for this.
Earned 2 meritorious service medals and 2 letters of commendation.
She's a bulldog.
I think you're an exceptional lawyer. And I think Dawson and Downey are going to end up owing their lives to you.
If she keeps her mouth shut.
I think you should prepare yourself for the fact that we're going to lose. All we have is a testimony of 2 people accused of murder.
I'm not entirely sure they don't deserve it. I mean, he's been saying they're going to lose this entire time.
Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Have you ever received a code red?
Yes, sir. The guys in my squad took turns punching him in the arm for 5 minutes.
Private Santiago ever late for platoon meetings?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever receive a code red?
No, sir.
Yeah, why didn't he ever?
Dawson wouldn't allow it, sir.
Turn to the chapter that deals with code reds, please.
They are expressly forbidden. They're not in there.
Well, you see, sir, code red is a term that we use.
No further questions.
Yeah, then how much do they feel obligated?
How did you know where the mess hall was if it's not in this book?
They just followed the crowd at chow time, sir.
7 tonight, we'll do a final Kendrick review.
We're getting Kendrick on the stand?
How's the big case going?
That's a grindstone.
Well, it ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Say that again.
Who is this?
Oh, jeez.
I know everything.
Was it a code red?
Yes. He was never going to be transferred off that base. He said he wanted him trained.
I'm going to get you a deal, some kind of immunity.
I don't want a deal, but I'm proud neither of what I have done nor of what I am doing.
Jessup said that 6 the next morning was the first flight Santiago could have left.
When a flight takes off, there's got to be some kind of record kept, right?
I thought they should have checked that at the beginning.
Nice work today. Redirect
Just
on
drinking
Barnes.
champagne? Oh, it's just a beer, okay.
We're checking the tower chief's log.
Why is he telling
Like
this?
a beer, please.
So another deal?
You're going to be subject to a court-martial for professional misconduct. I'm not saying this to intimidate you. I'm being your lawyer. I don't think your clients belong in jail, but I don't get to make that decision.
I've been so advised.
You got bullied into that courtroom, Danny. You got bullied into that courtroom by the memory of a dead lawyer.
You're a lousy softball player, Jack.
The
The boys are going down, Danny. Was Private Santiago a good Marine?
It was about average.
That's not what I hear.
I did not see the need to trample on a man's grave.
These are the last 3 pro-con reports you signed for Lance Corporal Dawson. You received a rating of below average. Lance Corporal Dawson's ranking after the School of Infantry was perfect. Do you recall why Dawson was given such a poor grade?
I write many reports.
I'm sure he's got notes, though.
Curtis Bell been found stealing liquor from the officers' club. You prefer to be handled within the unit. Private Bell received no food for a period of 7 days.
He was given water and vitamin supplements.
But you did order the barracks restriction. Wouldn't this form of discipline be considered a code red?
No.
If I called the other
really?
407 Marines to testify, would they consider it a code red?
The witness can't possibly testify. 470 other men would say. We object.
Yeah.
Entire line of questioning, irrelevant
Speculative.
badgering of the witness.
Objection is sustained. You're now questioning a Marine officer with an impeccable service record.
Once again, the judge sticking up for the witness.
You learned he'd been sneaking food to Private Bell.
He had committed a crime.
Dawson brought a hungry guy some food.
Like disobeying orders crime?
Lance Corporal Dawson disobeyed an order.
A Marine of Dawson's intelligence can be trusted to determine on his own which are the really important orders and which orders might say be
I like
morally
this. He's
questionable.
right.
Can Dawson determine on his own which orders he's going to follow?
No.
You know so, don't you, Lieutenant?
Object!
Sustained.
Is it reasonable to think he would have disobeyed you again?
The point's been made. That was good. He was good.
6 a.m. flight was the first plane out.
Let me see this.
Really?
The first flight stateside left Guantanamo Bay at 2300.
Maybe he can make it so a plane didn't take off, but I can sure as hell prove that one landed. But he's not going to be able to sidestep you.
You don't still intend to put me on the stand?
I'm worried this guy's gonna get killed.
A kid from the ground crew isn't going to remember a flight that landed 4 weeks.
Why did you go in Santiago's room?
To give Private Santiago a code red. Think they'll let us go back to our platoon soon, ma'am?
Oh, I just assumed they couldn't go back after all this, right?
Use small words.
Yes.
Because he gets rattled when he doesn't understand something.
Joe.
I'm just saying, go slow.
He's good, don't worry. She's gotta stay cool.
I knew your son vaguely, which is to say I knew his name. Her son is dead for only one reason. I wasn't strong enough to stop it.
He's not gonna... Why?
Code red was ordered by my platoon commander, Lieutenant Jonathan James Kendrick.
How is he gonna hold up under cross-examination? I'm worried.
Switch log has you down at post 39 until 1600. How far is it from post 39 to the Windward Barracks?
About 10-15 minutes, sir.
Must be a good hour by foot.
Did it in 45 flat,
An
sir.
order that Lieutenant Kendrick gave you 1620.
He's trying to prove he was...
How could you be in your room at 1620? Did you ever actually hear Lieutenant Kendrick order a code red?
No, sir.
Please, the court, I'd like to request a recess.
Did Lance Corporal Dawson tell you to give Santiago a code red?
How?
So he wasn't in the room?
I was given an order by my squad leader, Lance Corporal Harold W. Dawson.
So it's just the other guy in the room? Oh, frig. But they should have told them that. Oh, frig. This is real bad.
It doesn't matter that he didn't hear it firsthand. He doesn't distinguish between the two.
Yeah, but it makes him look like a liar. It makes them all look like liars.
If we work at it, we could get Dawson charged with the Kennedy assassination. Downey wasn't in his room. That was an important piece of information, don't you think?
Yeah, that he didn't tell them. That's so stupid.
We fix it and move on to Markinson.
Parkinson's dead. Really gotta hand it to those federal marshals, boy.
I still think we can win.
They probably could get a continuance, though, if their witness is dead.
To subpoena Colonel Jessup.
Jessup?
Loudon Downey needed a trial lawyer today.
You're going to use what happened today as an excuse to give up. Why did you ask Jessup for the transfer order? You wanted to see Jessup's reaction when you asked for the transfer order. He told Kendrick to order the code red.
And he's not going to say that.
Put him on the stand and you get it from him.
How? He's never going to say that.
True that you ordered the code red.
No.
I'm sorry, your time's run out. It's a court-martial, yes!
That's true.
Or should we not follow the advice of the galactically stupid?
He is losing his...
I'm sorry I lost your set of steak knives.
How could they ever get him to admit? I really thought they had Kendrick when he said, do you expect him to distinguish between which orders to follow and not? That was so good.
Is your father proud of you?
Don't do this to yourself.
I'll bet he is. He's got a big case he's making. My father would have enjoyed seeing me graduate from law school.
Did I ever tell you I wrote a paper about your father in college? One of the best trial lawyers ever. If I were Dawson and Downey, I'd choose you. Should have seen yourself thunder away, Kendrick.
Did you put Jessup on the stand? Do you think my father would have?
Not in a million years. There's really only one question.
Do you want
Would
to
you?
understand?
Joanne, please get in
We got work to do.
Look, I'm gonna put Jessup on the stand.
I guess you might as well. I mean, they already feel like they lost. They might as well try everything. I don't know what the hell they're gonna ask him. Did you give a code red? No.
Sit down, both of you. Good. Jessup needs to tell the court members that he ordered the code red. I think he wants to say that he made a command decision and that's the end of it.
Because of ego? Oh,
Put him on the
he's just
defensive and
gonna...
lead him right where he's dying to go.
Just gonna bait him.
How you gonna do it?
Does have a big
no
ego.
idea. I think better with my bat. Where's my bat?
It's my thinking bat.
I can understand that. I just have to handle it.
Is he gonna find something? Does he have an idea? Thinking about the closet with the guy's clothes?
Stay here. I'm going to the office for a while.
He does think better with that bat.
Got something. Phone calls? What's going on?
Gotta go out to Andrews.
No, sure.
Can I talk to you for a second?
This better not be like, I'm pregnant.
How are you feeling?
Jessup's gonna have his hands full today.
You feel like he's not gonna say it. Don't go for it. You could get in a lot of trouble.
They've just been preparing all of this. Don't tell him this right at game time. He can get him. I believe in him.
He's on his way.
Call your witness.
Colonel Nathan Jessup.
Oh boy. He's so intimidating.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you will give in this general...
Not gonna be easy to dupe.
You had a meeting with your two senior officers. Colonel Markinson is dead, is that right?
The witness is aware. The court is aware.
What did Sam go get?
I ordered Markinson to have Santiago transferred. I felt his life might be in danger once word of the letter got out. The 0600 was the first flight off the base.
Oh, you flew up to Washington early this morning. Did you wear that uniform on the plane?
Is this dialogue?
I want to see where he's going.
I wore utilities on the plane. I brought a change of clothes and some personal items.
Santiago's barracks room was sealed off.
Is there a question anywhere in our future?
I'm wondering why Santiago wasn't packed. After being subpoenaed to Washington, you made 3 calls and highlighted those calls in yellow. These are 14 letters that Santiago wrote begging for a transfer. Santiago was so excited that do you know how many people he called? 0. Not one called to a friend saying, can you pick me up at the airport?
And he didn't pack.
You were leaving for 1 day. You packed a bag and made 3 phone calls. He hadn't called a soul.
And it's a good point, but is it enough?
Santiago wasn't going anywhere.
The Lieutenant Caffey be reprimanded for his conduct and the witness be excused.
Overruled.
Your Honor.
The objection is noted.
Okay, Judge.
Is this funny, sir?
It's getting under his skin.
Maybe he was an early riser and liked to pack in the morning. He was set to leave the base at 0600. Please tell me that you have something more, Lieutenant.
He is sweating. Oh, frig. Trying to figure out if this is what he wanted. Is he trying to... I don't think this is what he wanted.
I didn't dismiss you.
I beg your pardon.
Sit down.
Nice.
Defense counsel will address the witness as Colonel
Oh my
or
God.
Sir. The witness will address this court as Judge or Your Honor.
Ego is his Achilles heel, man. Come on.
The 6 a.m. flight was the first one off the base?
Yes.
Tower Chief's logs for both Guantanamo Bay and Andrews Air Force Base.
Check the tower logs.
Any chance Lieutenant Kendrick ignored the order?
No.
He would never disobey an order from me.
You ever served in an infantry unit, son?
No, sir.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
Crystal. And why would Santiago be in danger?
Santiago was a substandard Marine.
I can have the court reporter read back to you.
I know what I said. Men take matters into their own hands.
Your men follow orders or people die. Kendrick ordered the code red, didn't he? Because that's what you told Lieutenant Kendrick to do.
Did you order the code red? I want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Yes, the line.
I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom.
This is what he wants.
Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. You need me on that wall. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. I did the job. Did you order the code red? You're goddamn right I did!
Yep, nothing further.
We can move to an immediate Article 39A session.
The members of the court will retire to an anteroom until further instructed.
That was good.
I'm gonna get on a plane.
You're not going anywhere, Colonel.
You have the right to remain silent.
He's responsible, right?
I'm gonna rip the eyes out of your head and your dead skull.
You have no idea how to defend a nation. You put people's lives in danger.
You're under arrest, you son of a... The witness is excused.
You may go. Oof. Ooh, that was good.
All rise.
Lance Corporal Dawson, Private First Class Downey. The members find the accused not guilty. And you are ordered to be dishonorably discharged.
That probably broke their hearts, though. I mean, their actions did lead to his death, so they have to take some responsibility. But it's tricky. They're ordered to do it.
We did nothing wrong!
Yeah, we did. We were supposed to fight for people who couldn't fight for themselves.
I have to take these men over to personnel for some paperwork.
Harold, you don't need to wear a patch in your arm to have honor.
There's an officer on deck.
What exactly were these guys going to testify to?
No recollection of anything. Strong witnesses. And handsome too, didn't you think?
I like that there's a mutual respect between them, even though they're on opposite sides. And they're friends, they're buddies, but just doing their jobs. The end. That was good. I like that one. Okay guys, that was A Few Good Men, and I like that one a lot. I think I want to watch more courtroom dramas. I really like that one. Jack Nicholson, of course, just like chewing the scenery every single time. Besides his "You Can't Handle the Truth," iconic, obviously, I've seen that before. But even besides that, I mean, I found him, he's so intimidating. There is no one like Jack Nicholson. He's one of a kind. Seeing Jack and Tom together was quite something. I like that a lot. Two strong guys, two charismatic guys, two strong actors. I mean, very, very interesting to see. I really enjoyed this one. There was a lot of subtext in a lot of scenes, especially like Jack Nicholson, just quietly intimidating. I've heard that movies really don't get courtroom scenes right very often, so I wonder, you know, how much of this is pretty true, and is it based on a true story? This movie's based on a play, but is it based on a true story? I'm curious about that. This one was good. I really enjoy like a courtroom drama thriller, so if there are more of those that we should check out, make sure you let me know. I feel like they're right up my alley. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I had a great time. I hope you had a great time too, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.